Alliance, it's me, Miss Quitzel, back with another awesome project. Today we are going to be doing a self-portrait project in the style of the artist Pablo Picasso. But first, let's talk just a little bit about our friend Pablo Picasso.
Pablo Picasso is one of the most famous artists who ever lived. Picasso tried lots of art styles over his lifetime. Realism, Impressionism, the Blue Period, whatever this is, but his most famous art style was called Cubism. Cubism was inspired by African masks, bright colors, and simple shapes. But maybe the most important thing about Cubism is that it shows things from more than one view. What does that mean? Well, it means most of the time you only see things from one view, like this view of a person looking right at you. When you see someone from the front, you can see both eyes, ears, the whole mouth, and nose, and chin. But if this person turned their head, you'd see a profile view. Here we can only see half of one eye, one ear, the side of the nose, and half the mouth. Picasso wondered what would happen if he painted both views at the same time. You might get something like this. Pretty crazy, right? Even though his Cubism paintings look so different, they're a lot of fun to look at. Picasso learned all the rules of art when he was growing up, but his favorite thing to do was to break those rules. So go ahead and grab your art supplies and let's break some art rules together.
Alright, my friends, so I've got my handy dandy Sharpie, I've got my computer paper, and I am ready to start my Picasso Cubism. Now, like I said, we are going to be combining a side view of a person with a front view of a person. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start over on the left-hand side of our paper. You know how you can remember which side is your left? If you make L's with your hands, the L that looks correct is your left side. And crazily enough, we're actually going to start with a big L right here. Now, because this is a portrait, we want to make sure that our face is pretty big and takes up a lot of space. So a nice big L, about the same size as the L you make with your fingers, is going to be a good way to begin. Now this L is going to be our nose. This is kind of like the view you'd see if somebody were to turn their head sideways. You would see the side of their nose sticking out just like that. Then I'm going to touch right here. I'm going to draw a line that goes straight down, and then it curves over. This is going to be the chin. Now, this kind of looks like almost like a weird step, but it's important to remember this part is pointy, this part is a little bit of a curve. Now over here, we're going to draw the first side of our neck. I'm going to touch my marker right here, and then draw a line that goes straight down. You might have a very, very long neck. You might have a short neck. Either way, it's going to look awesome. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce over here, and we're going to do our ear. When you see a side view of a person, you only see one ear. And I'm going to use a backwards letter C. Voila! And now, the other side of the neck. It's going to be a little bit longer than the other side was. There we go. So we've got our nose, our jaw, and our neck, and an ear. So far, all we've done is a profile view. That's just a side view of a person. But now it's time for us to get our Picasso on. We are going to take the front of the face and put it on the side of our face. To do that, we are just going to draw the front view of a person like we normally would. Now, when I draw eyes, one of the things that I remember Picasso did was he tried to make the eyes big and what we would call an almond shape. Now, to do almond-shaped eyes, you're going to start with a little bit of a frown. Don't make a big frown. A big frown is going to make an oval. We don't want an oval, we want an almond shape. So now that I've got a little bit of a frown, I'm going to do a little bit of a smile under it, and they're going to touch right at the corners. Remember, if you did a big frown and then a big smile, instead of having an almond shape, you would have an oval, which is okay, but not quite the Picasso look we're going for. Then I'm going to do a circle and a dot. If you want to, you can even do a little extra circle to be a highlight if you want your eyes to look big and shiny and alive, but you don't have to do that detail. Now I'm going to do the other eye. Picasso Picasso was known for kind of scrambling things around a little bit. So instead of doing my other eye right next to this one, I might move it down a little bit. I'm going to draw another frown, another smile, another circle, and a dot. And I might add another highlight, just for fun. Now that I've got my eyes, it's time to decide if I want to have any eyebrows or eyelashes. I happen to have eyelashes, and I also have eyebrows. So I like to put just a few eyelashes in the corners, but if you want to do more eyelashes, that would be okay. For eyebrows, if you have thin eyebrows, you might just do a line, like that. It's a little bit of a frown. But if your eyebrows are a little thicker, like mine are, you might go ahead and just do an extra curve on top. It looks kind of like the crescent moon that we did in our Vincent van Gogh project the other day. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to do the nostrils. Because this is a side view, normally we would just see the side view of one nostril, but because we're doing crazy mixed up cubism, where we can see one thing from more than one side, I'm going to do two nose holes. And they're just going to sit side by side. Now for the mouth. You can do whatever kind of mouth you like, but remember this is a self-portrait. So don't do something crazy like fangs. I don't think I have any vampires in my art classes. After I do my mouth, I might decide if I want to change it up. I could do a mouth that's smiling and open, and maybe I've got some teeth. And I know I've got a top row and a bottom row, so I could draw a line to show where the top and bottom row is. And right now I'm wearing a little bit of lip gloss, so I might do some lips. But like I said, you can do any kind of mouth that you want. It is your artwork. But if you're making a self-portrait, just consider if you are missing a tooth, you might want to color it in. If you are kind of silly and you like to stick your tongue out sometimes, you might even draw your tongue sticking out. It's whatever floats your boat. Now, we're at the hard part, the hair. The first thing I need to think about is how my hair touches my face. If you look at my hair in real life, you will see that I have bangs. They curve down a little bit over my forehead. Some people have their hair pulled straight back. Their hair doesn't touch their forehead at all, and other people have bangs that hang down on their forehead but don't cover up their eyes. So I want you to touch your forehead right now, or look in a mirror and see, what does your hair do? I'm going to draw the shape of my hair, and then the shape of my hair when it goes behind my ear. It looks like I've got a little pointy head, but that's not it at all. That just shows where my face stops and my hair is going to begin. And if you have hair that just hangs straight down, you might do a ziggy-zag kind of line. I'm going to show you some different kind of hairstyles after I finish drawing my picture. Now the rest of my hair is kind of wavy and it goes down to about my shoulders. So I'm going to draw the top part of my head. I'm going to start right here and I'm going to make this line curve over. I'm going to make it wiggle a little bit because my hair is a little wavy. And then I'm going to make it wiggle this direction and stop at the neck. Then I'm going to go up here. Same thing on the other side. Stop at the neck. And now I've got my hair. Alright, Liza Lance, I'm going to show you a couple different hairstyles you can do. Remember, like I said, you want to think about how your hair affects your face. So if your hair is like mine, it might be like that, where you've got side bangs and maybe they're tucked behind your ear on that side and they curve over your forehead. If you have bangs that go straight down, you might have hair more like this. If your hair does not touch your forehead at all, it might be more like this. Now remember, all of these people have hair. We just haven't drawn them yet. So this is not a bald person, this isn't a person with a point on their head, and this is not a person with a bunch of points. This is just the way your hair touches your face. I'm going to go ahead and make this person like that too. Now, when you're drawing the rest of your hair, you have to think about what kind of texture your hair has. Does your hair have straight lines? Does it have wavy lines? Or does it have curly lines? Whatever kind of hair texture you have, that's going to affect the kind of line you might want to use. So if you're a girl with long straight hair, you might draw something like this. If your hair stops at your chin, you might stop there. If it's really long, you might make it go all the way to the bottom of the paper, and do that on both sides. Boys usually have shorter hair. Not all the time, but sometimes. If you're a boy, you might just draw a little bit of a curve for the rest of your head. Sometimes boys have a little bit of hair sticking up in the back. If you want to add that detail, you can. But some boys don't have their hair on their forehead. They might stick it up and put some gel in it so it goes straight up. If you do that with your hair, all you have to do is a couple zigzags across the top like this. But if you're a girl, maybe you like to wear ponytails, you might start off by drawing short hair, add a bow, and then a nice curve for a ponytail. Let's try a couple different hairstyles. These heads are a little messier. I'm using my scrap paper up. Let's try a couple different hairstyles. Maybe you've got really curly hair. Your hair might be curly around your forehead. And maybe it's kind of short. You might just draw some curls like that. Maybe you have your hair in braids. Braids can be kind of tricky. So you would show just the top part of your head. And when you draw your braids, you might use some ovals. I like to make my ovals connect. And then I like to tie them with a bow or a clip. And then I put another little oval on the end. Some people have lots of gorgeous braids. And we want to show off all those gorgeous details. You might be what else might you be? You might have wavy hair that goes over part of your eyes. So maybe you use wavy lines to show your wavy hair. Maybe you like to wear hair bows. You could always add a bow onto your head. Or maybe you are a boy with a little bit longer hair. You could do something kind of like this, but maybe make it look more like a surfer guy's hair. So those are a couple different hairstyles, but everyone has different hair. Maybe you should try looking in a mirror and see if you can copy your hair. Or maybe you should ask one of your favorite grown-ups to help you draw it out.
Alright, boys and girls, it's time to start coloring. Today, I'm going to be coloring with crayons, with markers, and with watercolor paint. Remember, there's no rule that says you can only use one kind of art supply for every project. Some of the best art is made from lots of different supplies. There's also no rule on how you color in this project. When you're coloring, you can decide if you want to use natural colors, like the colors you might be in real life. That's what I decided to do. Or you can use crazy colors. Picasso liked to do both. It just depended on his mood. Sometimes he would even paint an entire picture using just one color and different versions of that color, like when he had his blue period. Everything he did was blue, or dark blue, or light blue, or green blue, all blue. You might decide to have a blue period too, or maybe you'll decide to pick a different color. Maybe you'll have a pink period instead. Whatever you want to do, it's your artwork and you get to decide how you'll color it in. Very last step, just painting my background. At don't know about you, but these Cubism self-portraits are a lot of fun. I even think mine kind of looks like me in a weird, crazy sort of way. I'm really interested to see how your self-portraits turned out. So if your parents help, if you want to write me an email to my school email account at jquitzel@elizajackson.org, I'd love to see what you've done. I'm sure these portraits are all incredible, just like you guys are. I hope to see you guys again soon with another awesome art project. Have an awesome day.